What? Honestly, the world never ceases to surprise me. I don't know how, but it just keeps doing it. The way companies keep taking advantage of our values just keeps increasing. So first of all, I wanted to go over that tweet that a lot of us have seen, which is the one where Nickelodeon announced that a couple characters in their shows are queer, which, you know, it's all well and good until you get to your boy SpongeBob. And secondly, I wanted to talk about the backlash over the game that came out yesterday on June 19th, 2020. A game I've been anticipating for a long time. One that has excited so many people, but sadly has been getting a lot of backlash. A lot of it well-deserved, but some, exaggerated. The Last of Us 2. So you might be asking yourself, how are companies taking advantage of us by just revealing that characters are queer, or by just releasing a game? Now, I'll get into it, but also a little disclaimer here. I'm not going to go into any spoilers for The Last of Us 2 since it just came out, and I don't want any of you to be spoiled, because some of you might be genuinely interested. But I'll just go over some general story things, and things that have been in the trailer. Alright, so let's get into it. I want to talk about my king, my boy, the sponge, the one we've all grown up with, my king SpongeBob SquarePants, and how they messed him up and did him dirty. So I think it's a little important that I go into what I mean by queer. Of course, I don't mean it as an insult or something negative. I just mean it as somebody who's not heterosexual or not cisgender. In this case, since we're talking about SpongeBob and it's June, then I mean it in he's homosexual or gay, I think, because he's a sponge, a male sponge, maybe? So I don't know as much about the other characters, so I don't really have much to say about the ones that were presented in the tweet. One of them was from the Henry Danger show, which I kind of watched as a kid, and I think the guy was like one of the villains, but they didn't really emphasize him too much, so I don't have much to say. But with SpongeBob, have you guys watched the show? Has anybody watched the show? At Nickelodeon over there? Like, yeah, I get that SpongeBob was never infatuated or showed infatuation for any girls that I'm aware of. I mean, I'm not a die-hard fan for that, but they never showed him liking males or females. Like, I know there's some weird fan fiction about him and Mr. Krabs, and I don't think we should go into this in a YouTube video, but you get what I'm saying, right? He's literally a sponge. Like, I think even the creator said it. He's asexual. He doesn't want males or females. He's just a sponge. He acts like a little kid all the time. He's like a happy little kid. Like, I don't understand. Like, why do we have to go into his sexuality that much? He's literally a square yellow thing. So basically the way that companies use this against us is that, of course, there's going to be backlash, because as I said, he's literally just a sponge and he's never showed any feelings for anybody. So people, of course, are going to backlash against it because it doesn't make any sense. But then the companies will say that people who are causing this backlash are homophobic or people that are racist or any type of ist. You know what I mean? And it's just wrong. And this is not the best example because I haven't seen Nickelodeon say anything back necessarily, but I have a couple of others. So if any of you like games or are a gamer yourself, you've probably seen the insane amount of backlash on The Last of Us 2. Now, of course, there was a lot of leaks and a lot of incorrect things that came out before the game was even given to reviewers or any creator for that matter. And when the gamers or the creators in this case got the game early and actually got the chance to play the game, a lot of them were under a very strict embargo, which of course it's not necessarily uncommon, but the level of restrictions on it were pretty rare. And some companies like IGN gave it a 10 out of 10 without, of course, being able to go very deep into story details or what happened. So as I said, in the critic department, like IGN, there was universal acclaim for this game. Right now it's sitting at a 95. Let this sink in. 95 out of 100 on Metacritic for the critic score. But if you take a look at the user score, so when the general audience finally got to play the game, the audience score is a 3.5. A measly 3.5 for the sequel of one of the most beloved games from the PS3 and later remastered on the PS4. Now there was a lot of backlash from the beginning since there was a couple gay characters and Ellie, who's the main character now, was going to have a girlfriend, which of course there's no problem with that, but people were just feeling that they maybe would, Naughty Dog in this case, the developers, would shove in this relationship without actually building it properly and making it worthwhile. So technically just shoving a bunch of queer things to try to appease a certain group of people without actually giving it any thought. Now, I didn't even play the whole first game, but I can tell you that game is amazing. Yes, the gameplay is not great. It's pretty good, but it's not great. But the story, even though I didn't finish it, the story was amazing. It was great. I was enjoying the characters. It was so immersive to play. So when the game came out, which I don't have it yet, so I can't give my opinion, or my full opinion, I actually watched a cutscene of the interaction between Ellie and her girlfriend, and honestly, it wasn't even bad. It was actually pretty well done. Where the backlash comes is the fact that something happened in the story, which I'm not going to say what, that completely ruins the whole point of the first game. Completely ruins the message. Well, not only that, it's also the game in general, the whole story. The first game's idea was that even though there's a lot of darkness in the world, there can be some light. And in this game, it's just it's dark, which the first one definitely was, but way darker, let me tell you. Now, a lot of people are going on Metacritic and giving this game a score of 1 or 0, and the score is going dramatically down. And the problem is that Naughty Dog and other companies are saying that it's because of the queer relationship in the game, when it's not even related to that. People are mad about something completely different. And while yes, the outrage is a little too harsh in my opinion, while the story, yes, is ruined, I think the gameplay is actually decent. So there are some good things about the game, and they haven't even played it, so, you know, it's not the most trustworthy opinion. But again, that's not the main problem. The problem is that Naughty Dog, which is the developer, is putting people's opinions down about something that's actually pretty crucial because of the queer or the representation in the game. And that's completely wrong, because it takes away our ability to give criticism properly. Because if you're just gonna say, oh, it's that we hate the queer aspect or the representation aspect, then we can't judge something properly. And while yes, people are being too harsh, it's because of another reason. And the developers or companies in this case are missing the point. Like, we just want to play a game, dude, come on. And it's just, I can't understand this. It's insane. Like, it's definitely happened before, of course, with Ghostbusters 2016, when that movie came out. There was a lot of backlash. And it wasn't generally because of that the cast was female, it was because of other reasons, but Sony and a lot of the producers and even the director said that it was because of the women aspect in it. So I just want to end this off by saying that's honestly really sad that companies are using our values or people's more progressive ideas against us, because we can't criticize things if they have something progressive in it, even if we're not criticizing the progressive part about it. or if we're criticizing something about the progressive part that is not well done. So yeah, even though I wanted to start this video off a little more comedic because of the stupid SpongeBob thing, I think it kind of took a dark turn like The Last of Us, and yep, it's honestly really sad. But I hope things change and we can move forward without this BS in the way. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want more, then subscribe. And if you liked it, of course, like down below.